What's going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So shout out to everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting. You guys rock. And if you're new to the channel and you haven't gotten subscribed, I do updates every day. What are you waiting for? So that being said, seriously though, it's a beautiful green day. Well, okay, XRP is down 0.1%, but you know, really, it's mostly a green day across the board. Having a look at what's going on in the markets right now, the first thing that just jumps right off the page is this Bitcoin dominance, 51.4%. Now that's down from 51.7%. So where is this dominance going? Well, guys, it's going into the altcoins. We've seen altcoins pumping. Everyone's calling for alt season. Well, obviously it's upon us because it has been apparent with some of these massive gains. For example, crypto.com up 100 and almost 40%, Zcoin up 90%, Ravane 39%, Ardor 18, Digibyte 18. You could go down the list. Look at these massive gains across the board. So alt season is upon us. And I wanted to ask a question before we move on with the video. A lot of people have been asking me, what are my favorite altcoins, or what altcoins do I think are going to outperform Bitcoin, short term or even midterm. So if you guys are interested in me making a video about my top picks, I would like to do that, but I've been very skeptical about it because I know, if you put a video out and then somebody buys a coin and, I'm not Nostradamus, I can only base it on fundamentals. So you know how that goes. But if you would like me to objectively put out a video of coins I'm looking at, let me know. Drop a comment below and I'll consider doing it. Okay, guys? But yeah, you could see, basically a lot of coins are doing quite well. Now, getting back to Bitcoin. I know it's so boring, this boring Bitcoin, right? Well, here's the thing. Okay, it's boring right now because Bitcoin's not doing anything. But as soon as Bitcoin makes a massive move to the upside or the downside, well, then you're going to be concerned, because if Bitcoin pumps 10%, yeah, some of your altcoins might pump, but at the same time, some of those altcoins might lose Bitcoin comparative. And also, if Bitcoin dumps, well, sometimes we've seen these coins dump 2 to 3 times as hard, right? So it always is good to kind of keep your eyes on what's happening. Now, what we had right here was a very, very loose support. We tried to break down a couple times. We finally did, but we were not able to get below this line right here. Now, this has been significant because, as you could see, we've been putting in higher lows. So if we go back to February 7th, we had this Bitcoin low right here around 3,346. And since then, we haven't gone lower. In fact, the lows have been higher. So we have higher low. This wick was a higher low here. This wick was a higher low, and another higher low here. So we're finding ourselves trapped in between this channel right now. Now, obviously, if you watched my video yesterday, we were talking about the crazy similarities between the 2015 chart and the 2019 chart that we're currently experiencing right now. So a lot of people were wondering, is this the start to the bull market? Because back in 2015, this was basically the very beginning of the massive run-up. But getting off topic, keeping it realistic here, we do know we've been looking at this same chart and we are getting very closer to the end of this wedge, and we're looking for either a breakdown or a breakout, right? But I wanted to point to something else that we had spoken about, and this is what's referred to as the golden cross. Now, we spoke about this a while ago, and I'm not saying I'm the first person to bring this up by any means, but I do want to bring it up because we're coming very close. So as you can see right here, the golden cross is a candlestick pattern that is a bullish sign in which a relatively short-term moving average crosses above a long-term moving average. As long-term indicators carry more weight, the golden cross indicates a bull market on the horizon and is reinforced by high trading volumes. Well, we have seen volumes increasing recently, right? So let's have a look at the chart. Well, as we can see right here, obviously this is the 200 week, which really at this point, as long as we stay above it, that's a good sign. But what I really want to focus on right here is I have the 100 moving average, which is the pink, and I have this purple, which is the 50. And as you can see, the 50 looks like it's about to cross over on top of the 100 right here. So, zooming in a little bit, we could see it kind of go this way, and that's going to make a cross. So that's something that we're looking at. Now, volume has dropped off a little bit recently, so that may not necessarily validate this indicator, but I'm going to get into that in just a second. The other thing I want to point out really quick, zooming out, is if we see this neckline right here, it's following quite parallel with the 200 weekly moving average, creating sort of this region where, you know, we have Bitcoin bouncing around. And the other thing I wanted to point out too real quick, which actually just kind of I just sort of noticed, is right here, you have a little bit of a, you know, a head and shoulders that's also been forming right here as well. So I just wanted to point that out. It's a little bit of an inverse right here. Look, I'll draw it. One, you know, there's the head and there's the other shoulder, okay? So usually that's also a bullish indicator as well. Now, Bitcoin is very manipulated. We know that. So these technicals could get completely thrown out the window, right? But I just wanted to bring that up and show you where we're at. And honestly, everything right now, and it's not just people in the media, it's not the news, it's not the fact that these altcoins are booming. I mean, literally everything from a technical and fundamental, you know, perspective are all signaling good things, bullish signs ahead. So that's the one thing that I wanted to point out. Now, before we get on with the rest of the video, please tell me that you guys saw the official trailer for this crypto movie that's coming out. I was going to tweet about it last night, but I kind of wanted to wait and see what everybody else was thinking about it. So, you know, apparently he's using Coinbase, okay? And yeah, so it's basically what you would expect from a movie that involves cryptocurrencies. Let's see, the Russians are the bad guys. They're using it for money laundering and cybercrime and all this other stuff, right? So I kind of found that sort of funny. The other thing kind of funny over here too is, like, first of all, I don't know if you guys saw this shot right here. Where is it? Oh yeah, right here. Okay. Bitcoin payouts, because that's not a suspicious folder. Oh, we also have kickbacks as well. So let me know if you guys saw this trailer. What do you think about it? I mean, do you think it's good? Like, is it good that, you know, people are at least seeing cryptocurrency? Or do you think, like, once again, it's just going to scare people away? Maybe I'll drop a poll above. You guys could let me know what you guys think about that. But there was a shot in the video, though, where it did show Ethereum, Wave, Stellar, and Neo. So, you know, some of the projects getting a little bit of love here, so that's kind of cool. I don't know what the heck this means. ICOs, percent. Okay, yeah, those are like statistics. Yeah, okay. So anyway, but check that out, guys. That's pretty interesting. So getting back to what I wanted to talk about, though, I had to bring it up because everyone's talking about it. Getting back to the actual Bitcoin charts, we were talking about the volume, right? So we did have massive volume. We had a peak right here. As you can see, we were just breaking, you know, over 11 billion, but it has since declined recently, and currently we're only around 9.8 billion. Now, there was this tweet that came out from Coinmetrics, and they said that the recent collapse in Bitcoin transaction count seems to correlate with the end of the Veriblock testnet on March 4th, which was accounting for 20 to 30% of Bitcoin transactions. Now, we also know that Venezuela, you know, they had a blackout where they lost power, and that could be a situation, but that might not be all of it. But looking right here, you can see right here, it says March 3rd, and that's when they dropped off. So if we go back and we look over here, yeah, that doesn't really seem to make any sense because we've been going up. So kind of invalidates that. Now, I do want to talk about crypto and adoption, right? And users, right? So it looks that, according to this that came out, now who is this from? This is from these guys over here. It's FIO, Foundation of Inter-Wallet Operability. It looks like they surveyed 200 crypto holders, so 200 is not a lot. That's a very, very small test case to interview. To poll. But long story short, they found that most crypto users feel that their heart skips a beat when they press that send on the Bitcoin payment. So do any of you still get kind of nervous? I mean, sometimes I don't get as nervous, but like if I send a transaction and then I don't see it on the blockchain, or like they don't show it unspent or something like that, then I get a little freaked out. But it says 60% of newer users failed to answer very comfortable when asked how they felt immediately after sending a payment. The number of experienced users who felt very comfortable is just shy of the number who answered cautiously optimistic. It's about 79% for users who's held cryptos for less than 3 years. Here's the chart right here, kind of breaking it down. And it says that most crypto users are cautiously optimistic after sending a payment, but only 1/4 are very comfortable. So that's just something to point out. And they also say that nearly 1 in 5 people polled had a problem that prevented the actual successful transaction of cryptocurrency. Around 6% reported that they had been victimized by a phishing or man-in-the-middle attack. That's really unfortunate. I mean, it's things like that that definitely turn people off for crypto and scare them away. And then according to this chart right here, it says just 11% of crypto users made a transaction at least once a week during 2018. And we had 27% saying, I have not sent crypto to anyone in 2018, which is saying that, you are seeing a lot of hodling, which is a good thing, I suppose, but we also need to see usage. We need to see people buying things in crypto. We need to see people using cryptocurrencies. That will create the demand for the currencies themselves is actually using them, right? The utility of them, right? So I just wanted to sort of bring that out, and I will drop this below if you want. It's 19 pages. It's got all these different charts in here. We just looked at that chart. So I'll definitely drop that below for you guys. And also, Max Keiser chimed in yet again. Now, we know he is a Bitcoin bull. He's clearly a Bitcoin bull. You're not going to get anything negative out of this guy. But I do want to talk about some things that he had said recently. So, he's pretty bullish on especially just 2019 in general. And he says that the world is moving further in a direction of deglobalized economy, which could weaken the US dollar's grip on global trading and financial operations. He actually brought up Swift, right? And we know that Ripple is definitely trying to compete with these guys. And even though they're based in Belgium, apparently it's the US that directs Swift as to which countries can use the system and which cannot. I personally can't verify that, but that's what he's saying. So currently, countries, Germany among them, are busy developing their own system of financial transactions free from US dominance, since the pressure this puts on market participants is too high. So he also went on to say, as for the US stock markets, it's been performing quite poorly lately, and it has been encouraging investors to turn to other opportunities such as the crypto space, since crypto is largely becoming a good option for storing long-term value, whereas the traditional system of stocks is becoming poorer and poorer. And let's be honest, you're not going to get the returns. Just going back to some of these, 139% in a day. I mean, do you ever see that on the stock market? Maybe you do. I'm not sure. So it's definitely becoming quite interesting. And not to mention, you're seeing developments behind the scene. You have Fidelity and Bakkt, but also look at this, for example. You have Canaan Creatives, the world's second largest Bitcoin mining chip maker, has raised hundreds of millions of dollars in a new financing round. It says that they didn't reveal how they would plan to utilize the funds, but it was reported that it had STCN had knowledge of the matter because of anonymous sources inside, so it was difficult to estimate the nature and purpose. But I think the thing you should just take away from this is the fact that, how is a mining, giant securing hundreds of millions of dollars in funds? What are these investors seeing in the potential of, these the mining hardware and stuff like that? So obviously, if it was looked at as a dying industry, right, why would people be investing this types of money into it? Also, speaking about the comparison, we have to talk about the comparison at least once a day of, the boom of the internet in the 1990s into the 2000s, which arguably pretty much changed the history of the world. I mean, look at right now. What are we doing? I mean, you're watching a guy talk in a box on the internet. I mean, I'm literally inside a little box talking to you. That's nuts, right? So it is kind of nuts. It's tripping me out a little bit. But so you have Jack Liu. He's the founder of Wanchain. I actually had a chance to meet this guy at Consensus. Really nice guy, down to earth and everything. But anyway, he said, we are at a similar stage as the internet boom back in the early 2000s. Right now, the whole industry is trying to build real-world applications with increased funding. I think a life-changing disruption would be a lot faster than it was back in the internet world. The reason is blockchain deals with two types of things, data and assets, which also is a form of data. Since these things are already digitized or about to be digitized, blockchain will gain traction a lot faster. He went on to say that majority of financial assets are already digitized as they are in some form of data, like in banks. Putting them on a blockchain and building applications like smart contracts and dApps is going to be a lot faster this time around than the old days of the internet that revolutionized pretty much everything. The internet was very slow. This is a side note. So I actually saw Captain Marvel the other day. I don't know if you guys saw it. I'm not going to get into, there's a very like political thing going on around it, but there was a scene in it where, because they're back in the 90s and they're actually waiting to upload the audio from the black box on the airplane. And it's like, they're all just sitting there and she's like, what's going on? And they're like, oh, it's loading. It just reminds you how slow it was. And things do move a lot faster right now. So they also talk about stocks, same thing like Max Keiser. And, he's saying that they're going to move to Bitcoin. But, Jack Lew is saying since stocks have already been digitized, it's just a matter of time to put them over blockchain. In fact, we are seeing stocks getting tokenized, right? Where you can buy fractions of a stock with tokens. So that's actually already happening. All right. Now, moving on to some coin news of the day so we can get on out of here because I know we all got places to be, but I do think this is pretty cool. So Switcheo has actually gone live with their OTC trading. So as you guys know, if you haven't used Switcheo, they're a decentralized exchange. They're super easy to use, really, really cool. They're one of my favorites. Them and also IDEX. I love using IDEX and I love using Switcheo. But if you guys want, you can come over here and see you have token you're offering. Obviously, I'm not connected, so I can't offer anything because I'm not plugged in. I don't have my ledger plugged in. But yeah, you could basically put the amount and you can create an over-the-counter trade. They also note down here, though, that if you're looking to do trades higher than 5,000 US dollars to contact the actual Switcheo network themselves, but it looks like anything under $4,000, you should be able to just put it in and, wait for, somebody to accept. So there you go. Now, let's talk about Facebook crypto could pull in $19 billion in additional revenue. It says the yet unconfirmed move by Facebook to develop a cryptocurrency for global payments has been cited by multinational bank Barclays as a $19 billion opportunity. They're already speculating on where this might go, even though we don't even have full confirmation, suggesting that the base case of incremental $3 billion in revenue from a successful cryptocurrency implementation is possible if crypto P2P system tied to fiat currencies go ahead. They said merely establishing this revenue stream starts to change the story for Facebook's share. In our view, any attempt to build out revenue streams outside of advertising, especially those that don't abuse users' privacies, are likely to be well received by Facebook shareholders. That don't abuse user privacy? What? Due to huge user base of Facebook, numbering over 1 billion, although are there really 1 billion active people using Facebook, like actively every day going on it? I don't think so. But yeah, I wanted to point out something that's tying into this, though. Outside of the fact that it could be a $19 billion, revenue generating machine for Facebook, this came out from Zero Hedge. Now, I actually like Zero Hedge. It's starting to become one of my favorite places to go. As you know, you can post anonymously as Tyler Durden. Now, they say that over the weekend, they were surprised to learn that some readers were prevented by Facebook when attempting to share Zero Hedge articles. Subsequently, it emerged that virtually every attempt to share or merely mention an article, including even in private messages, which that blows my mind, would be actively blocked. And you can see right here, it says you can't go to this link from Facebook. The link you're trying to visit goes against community standards. Now, obviously, they reached out to them and, of course, no answer. I've experienced this myself. I actually used to run some Facebook ads and they ended up pulling them and telling me that they violated the terms of service. So I asked them why, and they just kept redirecting me to the same page over and over and over again. Not actually giving me a reason, right? But hey, they're centralized. They can do things like that, right? So they do say that it's entirely possible that one or more of the posts that was flagged by Facebook's triggered readers, right? Everybody gets offended by everything nowadays. And maybe they alerted that and then that kind of affected the algorithm, right? That's a possibility. But it's also possible that Facebook simply decided to no longer allow its users to share content from Zero Hedge in retaliation for extensive coverage on what some have dubbed the platform's many problems, right? Well, they don't like when people go against it. It's also, there's been a lot of people abandoning Facebook, especially a lot of younger people, they just don't see the value in it anymore. So basically, unlike other websites, they say that they're lucky that most of their inbound traffic does not come from Facebook. However, it does just go to show you why we need to get away from these centralized things. And yes, I'm a guy that's talking on YouTube right now. I get it. I understand. But realistically, a lot of the other decentralized platforms that I've tried have not really been able to really get that mass adoption, right? Even Steam has even had issues where they were censoring a couple things that was really crazy, right? So, and I'm not bashing it. I'm just saying, I think that one day we will have something that will replace this, but I don't think we've quite found it just yet. We've come close, but we really haven't quite nailed it, you know? But I do keep an eye on these things moving forward, obviously. Now, I also want to talk about Stellar Lumens. They've been having a really, really great couple of weeks. So it looks like fintech platform YouGodler continues to expand its global reach with a new collateral addition to their growing list. Due to popular demand from their community, YouGodler now includes Stellar Lumens as their latest collateral option. Also, we have White's Win, whose company XRPL Labs recently received 2 to 3 years worth of funding from Ripple. They've created a bounty that will go to any developer who builds a plugin that integrates XRP with WooCommerce. So XRP enthusiasts can contribute to the bounty, which has so far reached more than 3,000 XRP, worth about $950. But hey, you know, there you go. Take it. Also, Binance has partnered with James Pratt Auctions and New Yin Exchange to launch the world's first live property auction using crypto. So this is going to happen on April 8th, and you can do it using either Bitcoin or Binance Coin. Apparently, this is it. Pretty swanky pad. So, scrolling down here, you can see CZ basically, posted about it, and it says that it's going to be listed at an auction in Keiser, a town located in northeastern New South Wales, Australia. The beachfront residence is aptly named the Jetsons due to its exaggerated futuristic style and is bound to attract bidders with quirky yet refined taste. So there you go. You can bid on this using Binance or Bitcoin. So there you guys go. Also, I want to talk about a little bit of a vulnerability that maybe we should discuss. Now, this is apparently in Trezor Wallets. Now, interestingly enough, Ledger are the ones that found this. Now, you guys know I am a fan of Ledger, clearly. It's the first hardware wallet I pretty much ever used. I've never had an issue with it. That's why I promote it on my channel, because I can speak from experience that I really do enjoy using Ledger, honestly. But they're saying that with the Trezor wallets, they've referred to 4 of them as completely broken. The devices in question were Trezor 1, Trezor T, KeepKey, and B-Wallet, which pose such severe security flaws that there's no way to fix them, according to Ledger. The wallet manufacturer's security team has an attack lab in Paris where regular defense checks are performed against their own product and that of their competitors. So these are the vulnerabilities. Number 1 is that the genuineness of the device can be imitated. Exact clones of the original Trezor wallet can be made, allowing hackers to tamper with the devices and gain control over the code running on the device. Hackers can potentially insert cryptographic flaws and insert malware from the device's backdoor. So, regardless of whether this is, Trezor or any wallet, this is exactly why you do not want to get wallets from third-party people. You don't want to go on Amazon and get them, and you want to always make sure that you're getting them directly from the source and that they're, obviously shrink-wrapped. Don't you know what I'm saying? So please be careful with that as well. As you guys know, these ones came directly from Ledger themselves. I would never do that to you guys, obviously. The second vulnerability was with the PIN of the device. Ledger found that on a stolen or found device, the PIN can be guessed using a side channel attack by measuring the power consumption when a PIN is entered compared to the actual PIN. However, in their defense, they do say in firmware update 1.8, Trezor informed Ledger that this vulnerability was fixed. So we don't got to worry about that. That's good to know. The third and fourth vulnerabilities, however, pertain to the anonymity of the data within the device. An attacker with physical access to Trezor 1 or Trezor T wallet can remove and potentially delete all the data within a device's flash memory. Ledger further revealed that this vulnerability cannot be fixed and that the technical details regarding this would not be mentioned by the wallet manufacturer. However, a stronger paraphrase used by users can be a possible solution. And then the fifth and final vulnerability pointed to the ease of which a hacker with physical access to the device can use side channel attacks to extract the secret key. The device is prone to this attack during scalar multiplication. Not sure what that is, but it sounds pretty important when transactions are being signed. However, to successfully trigger this attack, the device's PIN needs to be known by the hacker. So obviously, guys, this isn't designed to say, hey, screw Trezor, go buy a Ledger. I like Ledger. I've never tried Trezor personally. If you have one, let me know your experience. I don't know. We have to see how this develops, but with anything, please be safe. Please keep your hardware wallet up to date as much as you can. Always download the latest versions of the firmware. And regardless of whether or not you still choose to use use a Trezor wallet, just please be safe and, do take your security seriously, obviously. So also we have popular South Korean actor and businessman Bae Jong-joon, I probably said that wrong, has invested an undisclosed sum into blockchain-based seafood startup Seaman? I want to say Seaman. Can we get a verification on that?
Seaman.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So anyway, Seaman is developing a blockchain-based seafood transaction and smart contract system. According to the information from its white paper, the project aims to make global seafood transactions as transparent as possible, reduce unnecessary expenses, and achieve the faster and safer international transactions. So there you go. Great use case. Now, also really quick, I know this is like kind of the boring stuff, but apparently FinHub, the branch of the SEC, which communicates with fintech startups, is looking to go on a tour and visit major US cities and set up meetings with crypto users as well as representatives of blockchain businesses to answer questions and also get some feedback as well. So it says that the announced goal of these meetings, which are referred to as local P2P on the FinHub website, is to start seeming more human to crypto startups. The SEC wants to support companies that work in the innovative blockchain and crypto sphere and wants fintech businessmen to think that dealing with the regulator can be a positive thing to do.
Well, isn't that special?
Also, so you remember this crazy Ethereum transaction that we had that happened back here where literally it was an Ethereum transaction? I'm not kidding. Look, for $1.35 and they paid $28,312 in fees to send $1.35 worth of Ethereum. So a lot of people were speculating about this. They were saying that this is a way to basically launder money to miners, right? To Bitcoin miners or Ethereum miners. Now, you'd have to somehow be able to guarantee that that miner is definitely the one that's gonna, mine that block. But apparently there's ways that this can be done. So that's what some people were saying, but it actually turns out that they're saying it was a total accident and the user ended up getting back to Sparkpool and explaining to them what happened, and they agreed to refund half of the 2,100 ETH, to which they actually replied, "Thank you, Sparkpool and your miners, for helping us to recover our losses. We are willing to share half of the 2,100 ETH. So they issued a refund of 1,050, and the Sparkpool miners responded, "Thank you for understanding and your generosity." So look at that. A nice story, a nice ending. I think we'll end on that today. I want to say thank you to everyone who's been downloading the Brave browser. You guys are awesome. Everyone that's been supporting the channel by, tipping Brave basic attention tokens. I really appreciate it. If you guys haven't downloaded it yet, you can use my link. They give you $5 worth of tokens to use on the platform. Also, they just rolled out their ad program phase 2. So you should be rewarded now for watching ads. And also thank you to everyone. I feel bad promoting Ledger. I'm not trying to diss on Trezor. It's just, it was in the news. I'm reporting it, guys. But yeah, I do use a Ledger. And if you guys want, you can use my link below. It does help to support the channel. And also, if you haven't checked out the Blockchain Brief newsletter, I am a writer as well as other content creators, and you can check that out. It's $5 a month. And we do have a physical Bitcoin wallet giveaway and a special, if you guys want, it's $55 for the whole year. But as you guys know, I never, ever require you to ever give me any of your money. Your time and your attention is more than enough that I can ask for. Obviously, if you ever see a crypto zombie down in the chat saying to send, whatever, or to email him, it's not me. I don't do that. If I do giveaways, they are on the actual video itself. All right. So that being said, I want to say thank you so much, guys. Today is Tuesday. Let me know if you guys would like me to make a video talking about my altcoins or whatever. And yeah, so that pretty much wraps it up for me. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel. Everyone that's been liking, subscribing, and commenting, you guys freaking rock. And that is it for me. My name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And peace out.